Hi, I'm going to talk to you about bullying in healthcare and the statistics I found out about it and how it's so prevalent in healthcare. Why I chose this topic is I have worked in healthcare for 7 years as a nursing assistant. Um, I have worked on different units. I've worked in the NICU, I worked in long-term care facilities. I now work at Madonna, and I started on the adult rehab unit, and now I'm on the pediatric rehab unit. It is something that I witness nearly every shift that I work, even just from a small amount of bullying to bullying that leaves my coworkers in tears. My thought is that it's because it's a mostly female dominated field of work, and females, we all know, can be more catty and kind of just rude to their coworkers. Um, and I know that, at least from my experience, that it happens more frequently in certain facilities and certain units than it does to other units in different facilities. How I narrowed down my topic is I wrote out the list like we had to do on the research log, the first research log. And then I decided that I wanted to do bullying because it was something that really resonated for me. I have personal experience with it, I've witnessed it, and it's something I could give real world perspective on. I also wanted to research to see if it exists in every field of work or if it's just in healthcare or just more prevalent in healthcare, or if I just think it's more prevalent in healthcare because I work in healthcare. And I also started looking through different articles on the different topics that I had decided on and realized that this was something that had been researched a lot and has been researched for decades to see if what's causing it and where it's coming from. What I hope to learn is that it wasn't actually a common factor of working in healthcare and that it doesn't exist everywhere. I also hope that it was something new that's just starting and that it's something that we could easily change and put a stop to and make sure that the people coming into healthcare after us aren't being bullied. Some things that I've found, according to Ariza Montes Muniz and Montero Simo, bullying is considered an event that can be expected to occur with a certain regularity or frequency. So this means that people are showing up to work daily and they should just expect to be bullied by their coworkers. I also found that for some reason it is more prevalent amongst healthcare workers, and there is not a lot of research on why it's more prevalent in healthcare versus why it's not. The interview I conducted with a nurse I work with, her thought was that a lot of healthcare workers become very passionate about the employees they take care, or not the employees, the patients they take care of. So they become like they want it done a certain way. And if a newer nurse isn't doing it that way, then they'll start to bully them. And so that way they are doing it the way they want. Another thing was it's not just happening amongst nursing staff, it's happening in management, amongst the doctors, respiratory therapists, nursing assistants, nursing students even. And it's not just happening like between nurses and management. It's happening. Doctors are bullying nurses, nurses are bullying management, management's bullying nursing assistants are bullying anyone. So it's something that is seen all over. Some more statistics I found from Ariza Montes Munoz and Montero Simo was they conducted a couple of different surveys, and one of them included 117 healthcare workers. And out of those, 32 were male and 27.4% felt bullied. 85 were female and 72.6% felt bullied, which I thought was kind of what I expected to see, was that females are going to feel it a little more. Another one, 15 to 39-year-olds There were 56 of them, and 47.9% of them felt bullied, and 40 plus year olds, 61, there were 61 of them, and 52.1% felt bullied. And this was a little different than I was expecting. I've always heard that nurses eat their young, so I was expecting the younger population to feel more bullied than the older population. So I was a little surprised there. And then the last statistic that I was kind of expecting was long-term employment contracts. There were 91 of them, and 85% felt bullied. In temporary employment contracts, so like traveling nurses, there were 16 of them, and 15% felt bullied. And I could just see that you're in one place for a long time, you're around the same people every day, you're going to be more bullied than if you're coming and going every few weeks. Some effects of bullying found by Demir, Rodwell, and Flower were depression and anxiety, which are huge effects on your mental health and well-being. Nurses and nursing staff and just other healthcare professionals were calling in because they didn't want to come to work and be bullied, and this was costing the employers money. It was causing them to be short-staffed, so people are having to work harder. And then a lack of commitment among workers and students. Students weren't wanting to study, they weren't wanting to go to clinical, they weren't wanting to learn. Workers, you can see their lack of commitment with calling in. And then the other big factor was reporting the bullying. Students were actually seen to have more support, and Hakavari, Salmian, and Suonen were the ones that found that. They said that when the students reported it to clinical instructors, they received support and help from them and were even referred to bullying groups to receive help and understand what was going on. But as far as workers go, many don't report it because they don't receive the support they need from their supervisors, and then they're not seeing any consequences to the bullying. So they didn't see a need to report it. And then I think that bullying should be stopped. The ways to do that, we can find the cause and put a stop there, putting policies and actions into place so that way people aren't coming to work to bully their coworkers. And then my mom is a nurse, and she said that there's a class/workshop that healthcare employees can actually attend that shows like better ways to improve their working environment and stopping the bullying. And then the nurse I interviewed, Jamie Schutz, she suggested that doing bonding experiences on our pediatric unit. They try to do one every few months, going to the pumpkin patch or going out for dinner and different things like that. So that way you can create a bond outside of work, so that in hopes that you're not coming to work and being aggressive towards your coworkers. These are my references. Some strengths I found when I was doing my research was I was able to find a lot of information on bullying in healthcare, but some weaknesses were there's not a ton of research as to why it occurs more in healthcare versus other fields of work. That's all.